sun. Moving from the dark, trying to reach the light. I don't wanna stay here not another night. I've been on a run.
Alright guys, so moving on, we're going to do some reverb and delay. And I have some tracks right here. Alright guys, so moving on, we're gonna work on reverb and delay. I have 3 mixer tracks right here labeled and colored. Now I want to take these 3 mixer tracks, I want to group them together. So I'm going to right click, after left click and highlight, dragging to highlight, right click, go to create group. Alright, yeah, wait, doesn't matter either way. I'm going to say R long, or reverb long. No. Alright, my bad, bear with me here. RS for reverb short, long, and delay. Okay, now that we got that sorted out, I'm gonna load up some reverb stop plugins. Reverb 2. Gonna work on delay. Alright. Okay, so let me show you guys what reverb does here, okay? First, we're gonna take the dry signal. This is for dry. We're going to put it all the way down. And we're going to take the wet, put it all the way up, because we only want the wet signals on the send tracks right here. All right. We're going to take the low cut. We're going to increase it. This is basically just like an EQ. No, it is an EQ where we're going to cut off all the low frequencies. Any frequency, check the top left right here. Let's say any frequency below 500 hertz will be cut off. The size determines the size of the room. The pre-delay. Basically what this does is as soon it tells us when, it tells the reverb signal when to come in after the initial signal for our hit. For example, let's take a snare. All right, let's route this snare to the reverb short right here. What happens? All right, there's a lot of reverb. Okay, so if we pull up the delay, pre-delay, so we're telling the reverb to come in 341 milliseconds after the initial snare hit, and this is how it's going to sound. Yeah, so let's put that down. The decay tells the reverb when to shut off or when to die out. Okay, so if we put the decay all the way up, it just keeps on going. All right, now this part's really important, because if the decay is too long, it ends up making the mix like all cluttered up. There's too much reverb and it doesn't sound clear, right? We need the reverb to add an atmosphere, but when we add too much atmosphere, it just ends up being unclear, all right? All the objects in the room begin to be unclear, basically, yeah. So I'm gonna go here. I learned this technique to set the decay time perfectly each time. Now, I learned it from a YouTuber. I can't remember which guy or which video I saw, but really shout out to him, man. Okay, so it involves using a calculator, but it's nothing really complicated. Just take it. All right. And we're going to take the number 60,000. I don't know why 60,000. I just accepted. Okay, 60,000. That's what it's supposed to be. And we divide it by the BPM, which is 160. All right, 375 milliseconds. That's 3.7 seconds. All right, roughly. Let's just say 3.7. We're gonna divide it again by 2. 1.8 milliseconds. 1.8 seconds, because it's 187 milliseconds. So we're going to go to the reverb long, and we're going to adjust it to 1.8 on the decay. All right, this is the long signal. Okay, we're gonna put the dry down, this stereo, sides, high cut, and all that. Okay. Oh, and let me show you guys what the damper does. Now, I don't know what the crossover does, so I'm gonna skip that because I really just don't know. This, I think this has something to do with the, how can I explain? The when the sound signal bounces off. Let's take a listen. Yeah. See, it just makes it more. I don't know how to explain it, but it's more rigid. This makes it smooth. All right. So what does the damper do? I think a hi-hat is the best example here, using a hi-hat. Right? Damper is also like an EQ. It's an EQ boost, basically. Something like that. That's what it sounds like to my ears, at least. All right, so if it's at 2K, it's boosting the 2K region in terms of frequency hertz of the reverb signal. Now, if we put it up, it boosts the higher end, the 6K of the reverb signal. All right, so that's what the damper does. I'm just showing you guys this so you can know if you can have any specific sound in mind. All right, so now that we set the reverb, let's work on the delay. What does the delay do? All right, delay doesn't really it creates an atmosphere, but like in a different way, where it just repeats the sound, the initial audio signal. All right, so let's use a snare. Yeah. It's gonna keep going. Oh wait, let me set it up to 4. All right, I usually go 2, 4, or 8. I'm gonna go 4. All right, and let's keep the pitch offset. Doesn't matter if left or right because we're in stereo. And these are the initial settings. You guys can experiment. I don't want to experiment too much on this video, so I want to sort of just move forward. And levels. What does the level do? It determines how frequently does the reverb signal, does the delay effect keep on repeating. All right, so it's not really playing here. It's just repeating the initial hit, and it's just gonna keep going on indefinitely. So what I have to do is stop it. Okay, I'm gonna add a little bit, just slightly. Now the output, the wet is how much of the effect we want to hear. Oh, and one thing I should have done is take the dry all the way down because we only want wet signal. Now all this modulation, diffusion, feedback, distortion, I'll be honest, I'm not exactly sure what it exactly does do. Well, I know what this one does, feedback, distortion, but we don't need to worry about that. That's basically adding effects to the effect itself. All right, so we don't need to go that far in this video, at least. Okay, so, and yeah, that's it, wet all the way up. So now that we know what the reverb and delay does, let's mix accordingly to our taste. Yeah, and that's not according to our taste. Alright, I want to add some short reverb on the drum bus to affect all the percussion instruments. I'm not going to add any reverb to the bass. I don't think that's a good idea. Could work, but not for this song. Alright, instrumental bus, reverb long. I like adding, I like routing my instruments to a longer decay time, a reverb with longer decay time. That's just what I personally like. Doesn't really matter. The size, you can readjust the size. Make it smaller or bigger. Alright, so I want to add a little bit more reverb to the snare on its own. I'm going to route it to the reverb long. And the hat as well to fill up the space. melody, I want to add some delay to it. Maybe let me put up the level a little bit more. Alright, we're trying to create an atmosphere. Alright. And that's it for this part. Let's move on.